Hello everybody. I hope all of you are having a good day today. It's Friday morning here in the Philippines and got lots of things going on around me. My brother-in-law is outside working on the worship center, and my nanay is working in the flower beds. Lynn is around sweeping, and I'm here working on videos and for sermons. I'm scheduled to preach in Malawi this coming Sunday, and next Sunday I have a sermon to give at another church around here, close here somewhere on the mountain somewhere. So anyway, we're all busy here. You know, I've shared my testimony. That I couldn't tell you how many times I've shared my testimony online and in churches. Sorry about that. Lindsay come barging in the room. You'd be amazed. I live on a mountain in the middle of the jungle, and it's one of the hardest things in the world for me to do is find a quiet place to make videos. Anyway, I've shared my testimony so many times I really couldn't tell. But I always stress to people, I heard a voice that said, call out to Jesus. And whenever I responded, it's like I was just encompassed by love. It was this amazing love that words cannot give justice to. And it was this love that changed me. And immediately it's like this path lit up before me and showed me this new way that I was going to live my life. I didn't need anybody to tell me what I needed to do. It was all come from within me. It all come from within this love. Right? And so for the past 10 years, I've been on this journey, learning from the Spirit of God, His teachings that come from within you. And over the years, I have been attacked by every different type of denomination you can imagine. Religious spirits trying to drag me down to their way of thinking. When I know because I know the love of God. I've experienced the love of God, and there's nothing anybody could ever do to seduce me, to make me cheat on God, to say that I've got to do something to make God happy. Because it's the love that conquers you. It's the love of God that radiates from you, that does all the things that are required, and that is love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. All right, that's real love. It's not plastic love. People can talk about love all they want, but if your love doesn't have some type of action that follows with it, then it's plastic love. It's not real love. You know, I see a lot of these pastors online and pastors behind pulpits, you know, at churches, and they'll always, a lot of times they'll get up in front of the congregation and they'll say, before I get started, I just want to confess Jesus Christ is Lord. He come in the flesh, you know, and I want to, you know, just say that because this is how you know that I am a child of God, because someone who's not a child of God cannot say that Jesus is Lord and that He come in the flesh. All right, so they'll get up there and do that, and a lot of times they'll go off into a 10 or 15 second rant into tongues, you know, just to give you an extra boost to like, look at me, you know this is anointed, you know, because I just did that. They always trying to get you to believe, look, I come from God, but they'll say, okay, I come from God, but look. And a lot of them will sit down, they got all their certificates from their Bible college and degrees and stuff behind them, and they'll say, they'll read and they'll say, the Bible says that Jesus said that thou shalt want not have not, and you can't have none. And they're like, see? You see, everybody? It's written right here. We can't have none because the Bible says that Jesus said that we can't have none. We can't even have a little bit. Can't have none of it. And y'all leave your 10% tithes at the door as you leave, and make sure you come back next week and I'll read something else to you that we can't have and you can't do. because I'm going to make you live by my idea of what the letter says instead of what should be written in your heart. You know, there's a trick to that if that if they're from God, they can say that Jesus is Lord and he come from the flesh. But did you know that they can also say those words and deny Jesus in the same breath? It's written about it in the Bible. Jude 1:4. Now get this, it says that these men stealthily came in and that they deny Christ by changing the grace into lasciviousness. This is a lustful kind of thing. This is showing you right here. Remember in the first of Jude, it says you've got to defend the faith, beloved. Beloved is those who have experienced God's love. They're divinely loved by God. They have experienced that love that changed them. That path was lit up before them. Contend for that faith. You know, stay faithful to the end, like you're staying faithful to your husband, not cheating on him. This is you stay faithful to your husband, Christ, by not cheating, by thinking that, oh, if I keep this day holy, he's going to love me, and all of y'all need to keep that day holy too. And don't you dare eat this, and don't touch that. You got to do all these things that I believe, you know, that's cheating. Because none of that does anything. Love is the only thing that has any action to it, real love. All right, so it's cheating. And in John chapter 8, verse 44, I just did a video about this. Talks about their father, the devil, and doing his desires. You know, and his desires, it's lustful. It's lewdness. Look at the word lewdness. See, all these things it's when Eve was when Satan came to Eve, he seduced Eve. Remember, it's written about those men that come into the houses of weak women and seduce them. You know, it's all about being seduced. That's committing adultery. Okay, it's spiritual adultery. You're contaminating what was perfect. You know, you're going outside of the marriage, outside of yourself, because you're supposed to be one with God. All right, so whenever you start falling for this, you know, these pastors, these so-called men of God come to you, you know, and all they have is the letter. They've never experienced the love. So the only thing they know is the letter and their understanding of what they think the letter says. All right, so they'll come and they'll try to tempt you. They'll try to sever. Remember, I did this in a video before. They'll try to sever the relationship that you have. They'll try to cut you off from that. Bust up the marriage. That's what they're doing. They're coming in trying to break up that marriage. They're jealous, you know. Oh, you can't have that. Can't have that. All of this stuff that you see about keeping the marriage bed pure, all of that is meaning keep it what it is. Christ alone, grace alone. And if you've experienced God's love, you know, God is love. So if you know God, you know love. And if you know love, that means you've experienced that love. And that love has transformed you. It has changed you in the twinkling of an eye. You have been changed. You're no longer the same person. You've experienced that. You don't need these guys. And they're jealous. They're going to come. They're going to try to bust you out of it, you know. Some of them, a lot of them are really compassionate and think they're doing the right thing. They just don't know. I always ask if a preacher can get up there and say, I confess that Jesus is Lord and he come in the flesh, you know, I want to ask them, what is your testimony? How do you know God? And if they don't have anything for you, run as fast as you can. Get away from there. But all you guys who are truly led by the Spirit, you're led by love. You don't need me to tell you that anyway. I love you all. God bless.